Here we are. We've got the power shaft clutch assembly right here on the table in front of us. Good idea to make sure all the oil is kind of drained out of it. If you got a parts washer, you might wash it up if you're in a hurry. In this case, we're going to completely disassemble it, so it is just as it came out of the tractor. We're going to go ahead and disassemble the power shaft clutch pack just like this. It's going to require a pair of snap ring pliers. And I highly recommend good heavy-duty snap ring pliers. This happens to be Snap-on. There's other brands out there, but it's important that you get the kind of snap ring pliers with flat ends when you're dealing with snap rings of this caliber. Always want to make sure safety glasses, snap rings, safety first. So you just push down on this disc. There's a little spring pressure under it, but not a lot. So we're going to remove this snap ring. Sometimes snap rings in my shop are not always perfect. Alright, snap ring is removed. Take off my safety glasses so I can see here. Alright, the top plate comes off. Wow, there's still clutch facing remaining, although it's starting to get thin. You know it's an old original clutch facing if the facing has no cross hatches or cuts in it like the new ones, but I'll show you later. So just laying this out. Notice there's 3 little springs. These springs are more or less in there to, when your clutch is disengaged, to expand the clutch apart so that oil can get in and keep it lubricated while everything's spinning so nothing gets hot. Remove these discs. These really don't look all that bad. And you'll notice they're alternating disc with facings and then a smooth metal disc. So on and so forth. And to save time, you can grab all the discs. And we get down to the end plate. That's the whole clutch. Now we're on to the power shaft clutch cam assembly. And this is what actually would adjust your clutch. There's a small kind of a set screw that you actually screw it in to adjust the clutch. For right now we're not going to do anything with it, but it's very important to remember that's what we actually loosen and tighten to adjust the clutch. And I always take time to observe the wear. You can see this clutch has been adjusted several times as there's wear marks where these little ball bearings ride in and out as it snaps over center. It'll wear grooves and it'll get in different positions every time you adjust it. So this one here appears like it's been adjusted at least 3 different times in its life, which is slightly less than normal. I've found them that there's deep grooves worn in there, but this part should be just fine, shouldn't warrant the need for replacement. You might find a magnet handy to pull these balls out. Otherwise, when you pick this up, the balls will go flying everywhere in your shop floor. Pull those out. Now we're ready to pull the cam right off. And as I suspected, there is no brake remaining on this power shaft clutch. Let's take a look. Okay, now we're down to the next part, which can get a bit tricky if you have a later style clutch. Some of the earlier models such as the 50, 60, and 70 and some of the early 20 series tractors, this plate is actually bolted on, where the later design used studs and these little retainer rings. Now if you follow your handy dandy service manual, it'll tell you just to stick a snap ring type plier or expanding type plier in there to spread those rings. These aren't snap rings, they're sort of like soft metal rings. I find the easiest way to take them loose is with 2 short screwdrivers. They can be a bear. Don't worry about misshaping them, you can reuse them later. Okay, next we'll remove the PTO brake. There's still some lining remaining. It's very common to find the lining for the brake to be completely gone. Okay, let's pop.